You're in South Bend right now. Game day is there tomorrow. I've heard pros make the case for both sides here. Are you on either side between the Buckeyes and the Fighting Irish?
I like the under, guys. I going back and watching the tape, I think Ohio State has what they want defensively. They got really good linebackers. Their defensive line got improved. And on the other side, the other defense, Notre Dame has good personnel on the defensive line, but they got guys that could disrupt things in the front seven. So when I look at the matchup, I think both defenses are ahead. I think Notre Dame's going to struggle to run the ball, but they have to keep Ohio State honest to get their receivers open. And the biggest matchup to me is Ohio State's offensive line. They struggled at Indiana in a road game. This is a whole different animal. Like, if you have a really good offensive line, those things travel. And that's what I'm not sure about. I think Notre Dame hangs around the whole game, if not wins it. So I like under, and for a side, I lean Notre Dame.
Okay, and how about this? Now, two programs we're used to making the playoff every year, but it hasn't gone well. Let's start with Clemson and their slow start at catching points at home to Florida State.
Yeah, it's weird deal here. You know, a noon game. Usually Clemson gets these big games at night, you know, guys. And then Florida State up 31-10. Travis really felt awkward on that shoulder. They say he's good to go. They're getting their lineman back. I just think Florida State's better at almost every position, you know, but does that translate? Can Dabo loves this, being unranked and now being an underdog at home. I don't think he's been an underdog at home since Lamar Jackson went there, and, you know, he got the win there. So ever so slightly, I lean Florida State, but be careful. That no, doesn't it feel like it should be 3 at least? You know, 3.5 with the top team coming into an unranked team. So Florida State has to play well, and I need to see that like they did in the second half against LSU.
Okay. How about Alabama, and how concerned are you with Bama's offense? Kiffin running his mouth again, though. Bama at home laying 6.5 against Ole Miss.
Yeah, it's like you, Paul. He always running the mouth, you know. Never gets old, especially when he's going against the old boss. I'm not taking the cheese here with the dog. I think Alabama, they still won last week, and that defense is very good. I just go back. Texas was a 7-point dog. You're telling me Ole Miss is a point less, you know, not as good? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. I think Bama rallies the troops. I think they get the run game going. Their best offensive lineman didn't play last week. They're going to get, their best defensive tackle back. So I get it. People want to pounce on Alabama right now. I'm not there yet. I think they get the job done and cover against Ole Miss.
I'll ask you this. I mean, their adjusted win total at DraftKings, 8.5. Are they going to win 9 games this year?
Yes.
They will?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The talk of the entire country, people cannot get enough of Colorado. I don't blame them. It's been an amazing story. They're up against it this week. Do they keep it close? Do they cover the 21 in Eugene against the Ducks? I would lean towards the no, Mitch. They're going to score. I do like I've said every game, and take the over. They just the way they are built, they've done a great job. Lewis has done a great job playing to their strengths. One of their strengths is not their offensive line. And when I go back and I look, like, they have a ton of penalties, pre-snap penalties. Like, that stuff is going to get amplified in that zoo of Austin. Like, that place is going to be bonkers. I don't think they have the personnel on defense to slow down Oregon. So I could see, you know, a 45-24 game, like right there. I see that kind of game. But if I had to lean, I would land, because Oregon also, too, has this me against everybody talking about everybody else in the conference. They're kind of laying low. They didn't play well at Texas Tech. I expect them to play well. So I would lean towards laying the points, but I like the over in that game. You
also could tell me that, throw out any number of what Hunter means to the point spread. How do you know? He plays 120 plays. He's playing both sides.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy, because you would think a guy of that caliber that plays on both sides of the ball is got to be worth a touchdown, right? So I think you're getting a cheaper number with Oregon when you look at that and know Oregon's capability. I just think the biggest difference is the guys up front. Oregon has legit dudes. Like, they got pros on the offensive and defensive line. Colorado's got their 2 tackles are like 6'9" and 6'10", and they do a good job of getting in the way. But I'm not sure if they can protect Shedeur for 60 minutes against Oregon. He's been sacked a ton already.
You got to go through all types of emotions. I mean, Stanford Steve, you're a Pac-12 guy. You know they screw it up every year, and here they are. They're having this great start, historic start to the season. They're the talk of college football, and now the conference is going to cease to exist. Do you think they're going to make the playoff, or can they get in with a two-loss team, or are they all going to beat each other up again? What are your thoughts on this season?
It's been a complete whirlwind, guys. You know, it is. I saw it coming a long way ago, and I'm just, it goes to the top. The leadership was just atrocious when you look at the leadership top down. So the problem is I want Oregon State and Washington State to win it, so Kliavkoff has to give one of those teams the Pac-12 trophy, and they play each other. They play each other this week. So those are my two favorite fan bases in the conference. Those people are as diehard as they get. You know, they're the little brother in the state. And then you saw that with the conference realignment. But there are really, really good teams, man. And that's why before the year I picked Oregon State and UCLA to play in the title game because I like their schedules. Like Oregon State, this is their toughest road game. And they get all the big dogs at home in Corvallis. And UCLA doesn't have to play Washington or Oregon. So that's what I went with that. I lean Washington State in this game, though, guys. I just feel like their defense is better. They have to run the ball, though, because Oregon State's going to run the ball and try and keep that crowd out of it. And then UCLA, I just feel like it's time. You know, Chip has built that thing, again, a team no one is talking about. Ranked, top freshman quarterback. He slid him into the starting lineup. We're going to see what Dante Moore has on the road in Salt Lake City. I'm waiting for that number to keep climbing, but I can see myself taking UCLA plus the point.
You're going to be butting heads against Paulie in this one. I think Paulie, what'd you lay 4.5 with Utah?
Well, I thought I was.
That's a good number. Good number.
I thought he was playing, and Rising's going to play. I don't think he'll be rusty.
Let me ask you a follow-up on the Pac-12 here. Can a non-USC or Oregon quarterback win the Heisman Trophy? I'm talking about Michael Penix.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I really like, I don't know what the odds are. I know you guys are dialed into that. But I also look at where I am right here. If Hartman wins this game and then gets USC to come in, like who's got two better wins than that? And Notre Dame. I mean, we know the shine that Notre Dame carries. Like that's worth a shot, I think, because of the possibility. Like, and then they still have a game with Clemson. So I look at Hartman, but Penix for sure. Watching that tape last week, I just. Grub, the offensive coordinator, that guy's not going to be there next year.
No.
Hire him. Yeah. I mean, the game plan they had, I get it, Michigan State's not themselves. But to go on the road in a Big Ten environment and just absolutely get after Sparty like that, you don't see that. I mean, the game plan was tremendous, and Penix has just been – its accuracy is just off the charts.
Hartman's 10-1 at DraftKings, by the way. We love sports. Okay. We love television. How hard did you take it when Winning Time was canceled on HBO?
Oh, it was like the Pac-12 going away, Paulie. Like you're trying to enjoy every episode. Mitch, you know, on his pedestal, not wanting to watch this show. He's just losing out on himself. Mitch, you got to get back in and dial in. John C. Reilly, I like it was Jerry Buss. Yeah, he was so good, and the guy who played Magic, the guy who played Kareem, all the way up and down. The acting, the way they did the videos, the basketball scenes weren't bad. The guy that played Larry Bird shot like Larry Bird. It was fantastic, and I get it. It was, you know, they took some stories to extra lengths, but God, it was so entertaining. In a time when we're looking for something to watch, I love that show and the creativity it brought, knowing the footage they had and all that. And you go back and watch the actual footage of the press conferences and trophy ceremonies. It was to a T. It was phenomenal. It's just a tad difficult for me to watch TV shows during the football season. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I get it. Yeah. I know. Have a great time in South Bend. All right. You appreciate you guys. Hope to see you soon. You got it. Great job. Absolutely. He's right about that. You're right about the timing. I mean, you're putting the show up against NFL and during football season. I don't watch TV shows during the football season. Season 1 did well because it was during March Madness and NBA time. Visit VSiN.com to get current odds, listen for free, find showtimes, and download VSiN sports betting podcasts.